Hi, how you doing? Rather than tell you what I was going to bring to Fiji, I thought I'd come to Fiji and then tell you what I brought. So if you've watched my other videos, you know I'd chosen 3 boards to bring. One being the Paisel Ghost 6.4, one being the Paisel Shadow XL 6.2, and one being the Paisel Red Tiger XL, which is 6.1. So I've been here about 3 days. I've had a number of surfs since I've been here, and the first day we arrived very late in the afternoon and we just wanted to jump in the water. So we went out to Wilkes Pass. It was small. I went out on the Paisel Shadow XL, which was really the wrong board to have gone out on. I should have taken out the Red Tiger XL. But anyway, we had a surf. It was nice. The sun was setting. There was only 5 of us out there, and it was just beautiful to be sitting out there in the warm water as it was going dark, actually. We had a little bit of fun. But the next day was a big day for me. So we went to Cloudbreak. It was 6 foot on the sets. There were probably 40 guys in the water, but they were spread out across the break. And I was surfing from the outside in. I took my Ghost out there, which was set up as a quad, and this was the perfect board for that wave and that size. So I was really happy with it. Any bigger and I would have started to be a little bit concerned about being out there. If it was 8 or 10 foot, if it was 10 foot I wouldn't have gone out, but if it was 8 foot, maybe not. Probably more likely not, because it was my first time there. But this board went exceptionally well, and I'm so glad that I brought it. Then we came back to the resort, we had lunch, a bit of a rest, and then in the mid-afternoon we went to Wilkes Pass again, and it was 6 foot. Once again, surprisingly, it was just us. There were 5 of us, and I rode the Red Tiger XL because I thought it was a bit smaller than it looked. It ended up being 6 foot rather than 4 foot. But actually this board performed really well. It was super smooth, almost glassy at times, and the board worked really well. I probably would have preferred to have had my Shadow XL there, but I was pretty happy with how the board went. I had some good waves, and that was a really pleasant experience. And then today we went out in the morning. We decided to go to Namotu Left. I took out the Red Tiger at first, and I quickly came in after my first wave and swapped it for the Shadow XL. It was about 4 foot really on the sets, but it was feeling a little bit loose for me in the conditions, so I swapped over. But the thing about Namotu Left, if you don't get the tides right, you're constantly paddling. And there was quite a group of us who were staying here at the resort who went out there, and we all got very tired very quickly because you are just constantly battling the current that comes along the reef. It does eventually stop, so we were really out there at the wrong time, but then it started to get smaller. So we all packed up. We went and had a look at Tavarua Rights, which wasn't really working. We went to restaurants. Half of the boatload jumped out and went to restaurants. It was quite small. There was the occasional set coming through, but some of us decided not to go there, and we went to swimming pools, and I took the Red Tiger XL out. It was the perfect board for there. It was small. It was like 2 foot on the sets, but there were occasional set waves coming through. It was a bit of fun. So I'm really happy with the board choices that I've made so far. I also bought, as you know, I bought these board socks. Now I only brought 2 of them. I wish I had brought 3, because when there's a bunch of you and you go on the boats and everybody's just stacking their boards up on top of each other, it's good to have the board socks to keep everybody else's wax off, and also just to help absorb some of the impact if the boat is bouncing a little. So I'm probably going to get a 3rd one, which I would take on my next trip if I take 3 boards. So that worked out really well. Just in regard to the packing video that I made, by luck, good fortune, good packing, or maybe just really good baggage carriers, my boards arrived here in pristine condition, so I was really happy with that, and I'll keep packing them the way that I did because it seemed to have worked. So that was really good. Okay, in terms of gear, I bought a couple of pairs of board shorts, good to have two. I bought a long-sleeved rash and a short-sleeved rash. I've been using them both. Maybe a little bit of overkill. You could bring one or two. I brought two and I'm happy I did. I brought this XL. It's actually a UV vest. It looks like a wetsuit, but you probably can't see it, but it's got holes in the rubber, and the sleeves are kind of a nylon, so you don't get too hot in this, and it just keeps the UV off you, and you can apparently go out and wear it all day, and you don't get burned through it. One thing I've noticed in Fiji, because I've worn this and I've been wearing these rash shirts, and sometimes you're feeling pretty warm out there, and you could probably go without them if you can surf, and your chest is toughened up enough to take the wax on your boards. So that was a good choice. These were good choices. I did bring a 1mm vest. I wouldn't bother doing that next time. I did bring a short john. I was thinking that I might end up hitting the reef. I could end up hitting the reef, but I probably wouldn't bring that here again. I brought a pair of boots. I've got these Van boots, and I'll put links in the on the video page, so that if you're interested. These, I hate boots. I hate booties. I hate wearing them, but because of the reefs, and particularly at restaurants, supposedly it's very, very shallow there, so I thought I'd bring a pair. Haven't worn them yet. Haven't needed them at Wilkie's. Didn't need them at Namotu Lefts. Didn't need them at Cloudbreak unless you're going to get caught on the inside and you're walking across that reef. Then it would be good to have them, but because I don't like wearing them, I didn't bother. I would wear them at restaurants, but these Vans ones, they suit me. Other people have other types that they like. I like these ones, so I brought those. Bought a spare leg rope, bought a pair of fins and a snorkel and goggle in case we don't have any waves on a day. I bought some fins, so I've got two sets of John Florence large fins. I've got a set of the John Florence medium fins, which and you'll know that I like these. They're stiff, they're neutral, and I just like the way that they feel, so I'm pretty happy with those. I also brought a set of quad rears, which I've currently got in the Shadow XL, and I've got a set of Shaper's quads, the Airlight ones, and I'm happy with those as well. They worked really, really well at Cloudbreak. So those are the fins. Obviously bought wax, bought a lacrosse ball to help roll around on my muscles when I've got sore muscles, and I've got sore muscles today, so I will be using that later. Sunnies, of course. I built a head torch. Rather than just a torch, I thought I'd bring a head torch. I brought a water bottle, and that's really good to have on the boat, and I load it with either electrolyte powder, or for those of you, I think in Indonesia, but I lived a long time in Japan, so Pocari Sweat is an isotonic drink. I really like this, so I use one of these two in the water bottles just to help with rehydration. I bought some snacks, so I have one of these little snacks I put in the bag that I take out on the boat, just so that after I've had a long surf, just something to put in my stomach, and it takes half an hour or so to get back from the breaks, so it's good to have a little bit of energy source for you to just get your energy back a little, so that's great. I bought a couple of hats, possibly overkill. I could have just done with one maybe, but I always like to have a spare, so I got a cap and I got a hat. So I have been wearing them. I come from New Zealand, where we have terrible skin cancer rates, so I try to look after myself by wearing rash vests and hats when the sun is blazing. I brought, obviously, sunblock. I bought zinc, which I use a lot. Because I've got bad exostoses, I use Audiosol after I have a surf and after I have a shower. Just pump that in there to help dry my ears out, so that's good. I did bring a set of surf ears, but I haven't used them. I brought some solar airs and the little sandpaper block that they give you, and I bought some ding tape, and I've already helped somebody fix up their board, so it was handy to have the ding tape because we used that. We just cut the edges, the rough edges off, sanded them off, whacked the ding tape on there, and then when they get home they will get the board repaired, and this worked really well, so ding tape's a good one. A couple of wax combs, a couple of keys, a few spare leg rope ties. I bought some spare screws in case I need them. I bought a pair of binoculars, and just earlier I was able to watch surfers at Wilkes Pass taking off in the very, very far distance. So it was good to have a nice pair, quite strong but very small as you can see, pair of binoculars. Of course, you know, the mozzies, you need to keep the mozzies away. And I think that's about it. Of course, I've got clothes and other bits and pieces, particularly the camera gear. But that's my kit. I'm pretty happy with what I've brought. Like I said, I probably wouldn't bring the short john or the 1mm vest, and I'd just use the rash shirts and that UV. That was overkill, really. But everything else I'm pretty happy with. We've had good surf. The swell has been up. We're expecting it to drop a bit. The trades have been blowing, but also yesterday when we went to Cloudbreak, it was just, there was no wind. It was beautiful, it was glassy, solid 6 foot sets, and probably about as big as I would have been willing to go out and on my first day, never having surfed there before. And it was a really fantastic experience, as well as Wilkes Pass, which was, you know, there was 5 of us and they were screaming 6 foot right-handers. It was a lot of fun. So that's it from me. I'll give you an update later on. Hopefully be able to show you some photos and some videos. Keep watching, subscribe and like if you like this video. And as I said, I'll put some links for some of the stuff on the video page if you're interested in taking a look. So until next time.